Hello, my name is Ivan Wayne, and welcome to the first episode of Lantern, a short video series bringing you popular psychology articles in 10 minutes or less and helping you apply them to everyday life. The idea we're going to discuss in the article today is something I was first made aware of from Malcolm Gladwell's book, Blink. And a big question: could you learn more about a random stranger that you've never met just by observing the space in which they live or work versus meeting them in person or seeing them on video? And in 2002, a team of researchers looked at that exact question. The article I'm recapping today is A Room with a Q: Personality Judgments Based on Offices and Bedrooms, written by Gosling and colleagues, published in 2002. This team of researchers asked random strangers to come into people's bedrooms and office spaces and try to make assumptions and predictions about what their personality would be like. When assessing personality, there's many questions about which paradigm is the best to review a person's personality and extract meaningful information. The Big Five character trait model is a hot topic in psychology. It has been for a while and it's widely used. So that's the one that the article went with. In the Big Five character trait model, there are 5 pieces: extroversion, how agreeable are you, your level of conscientiousness, how emotionally stable you are, and how open you are to new or unusual experiences. So after they asked strangers to come into other people's office spaces or bedrooms, they then compared those ratings to how that person who inhabited that space rated themselves in the Big Five personality traits, and how a colleague or a friend rated that same person. Across both environments, the authors found that to some accuracy, strangers were able to pick out certain personality traits somewhat appropriately based on just looking at their office or the bedroom. When comparing the two different results, in general, the bedroom observations were more accurate in pinpointing and getting closer to how a person would rate themselves and how a friend would rate them. Across both people's bedrooms and the spaces in which they work, the openness to new or unusual experiences, and conscientiousness, the degree to which they're kind of aware of themselves, aware of their inner states, aware of other states, how conscious they are of the interactions with other people and with themselves. Those were the two highest, most accurate correlated observations from strangers, and how people rated themselves and how their colleagues or their friends rated them. They also asked the random people who were observing these spaces what stereotypes they had about the different genders. And they did find that gender stereotypes accounted for some of the assumptions that they put on the personality traits. However, the more information and the longer time they allowed those random observers to spend in those spaces, the less aligned they were with their stereotypes, which aligns with previous research that the more information we're given, the less we have to rely on our stereotypes and pre-built assumptions coming into a new situation. The degree to which the person who inhabited the space was extroverted and outgoing and very comfortable in strange social scenarios and brand new situations, possibly with strangers or getting up in front of a crowd, right? The degree to which they're extroverted. The raters, the random people who came into the space, highly agreed on how extroverted they thought this person was, but it was not tied and was not very well aligned with how the person rated themselves or how their coworkers rated them. When it came to dissecting these results, the authors offered up a couple of explanations. First, one might ask themselves, when a stranger is observing the place in which you work or live, why would your bedroom be a closer representation to how you would actually rate yourself versus the office? What are the differences here? They think that people will be more personal with the things that they decide to hang up in their own bedroom, that the individual will feel more sincere and more able to be themselves when putting up decorations on the wall. If you're in an office space, you're also kind of purposely meshing who you are with your professional identity. Maybe there's guidelines at your office with what you could or should put up. And possibly some people in their office feel constricted as to what they might be able to put up on the wall and decorate their office with. Another thought presented by the authors is that people do not have to spend as much time, especially as much free time, at work or in their office. So perhaps they're just not committing as much thought and intention to what they're putting up on the wall and putting on their desk versus how they decorate their living room or their bedroom. If you have not read the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, please check it out. One of the key takeaways in one of the chapters from his book is that in some studies, the accuracy of information we can pick out from people's bedrooms or offices is more accurate than if we were given 10 or 15 minutes of video to watch their behavior and then answer a Big Five personality assessment about that person. And if that's true, and if the results from this study build onto that, we have to ask ourselves, how would seeing a videotape of them or meeting someone in person for a few moments distract us and make us less accurate of gauging what that person's personality would be like versus just looking at their possessions and how they decorate when they're not around? And whether we think about it intentionally or unintentionally, people are communicating a bit of who they are by what they decide to put on the wall. In the 21st century, in video calls and chats and Zooms, we have to think, whether they are intending to or not, what messages are we taking away about people when we look at their spaces? And are they accurate? Because some parts of the Big Five personality traits, like how conscientious they were and how open they were to new experiences, could easily be picked up, but other parts of their personality were not accurate at all. And I think it's an everyday assumption that we could learn something about people by seeing the spaces that they decorate. But it's an entirely new question to think, which is a more accurate representation? The you that I stand in front of, shake your hand, and meet you for the first time? Or if I got to get a peek inside of your house for 10 to 15 minutes? Which is a more accurate representation of who you are? And so whether or not you use this message to intentionally decorate things within a Zoom frame or a bedroom or an office space is totally up to you. But regardless, we're all trying to figure out who each other are, especially if we're just meeting someone. And the way in which we pick up clues does not always have to be in the same exact manner. So thanks for watching. My name is Ivan Wayne. This is Voyager. And this has been our first episode of Lantern, bringing you psychology articles in 10 minutes or less. See you soon.